Hello, Captain Gray here. Just giving you a quick review of this Roland C-30 digital harpsichord. It was made over about the last 20 years by Roland Company of Japan and then discontinued about 4 or 5 years ago. Before that it was readily available in some really good shops, particularly in Japan. I saw it for sale. This one I picked up in the UK second-hand in a music store in the north. So the first thing I'd say about it is basically the keys are a little bit small and plasticky. It almost looks like a toy instrument, and when people see it or pictures of it, they say, "Oh, yeah, that's a cute toy you've got." But the keys are very, very small in terms of the width and the length, and you really need quite small hands. Mine are medium size to get your fingers around it and not catch the other keys. It doesn't really feel like a real harpsichord. Mine has very, very flat, square wooden keys. The other thing that you notice is that they didn't reverse the colour of the keys, which is a bit unusual for a period instrument. Have the black on the white and the white on the black, but I think it would have looked better with that kind of effect. So in terms of criticisms, I'd say the very, very small and rather plasticky coated keyboard. But on the plus side, when you actually switch the harpsichord sound on, you can actually feel a slight resistance as if it's plucking inside rather than electronic. It's got 2 harpsichords sampled from a museum in Japan. One is a big French harpsichord and one is Flemish, and you just switch between the two with a function button. And the basic sounds on each are 2 8-foot stops, lower and upper, plus a 4-foot stop, an octave higher, and then a lute stop or bus stop, which gives you the spindly effect. So here is, for instance, the lower 8-foot on the French. Here, for comparison, is the upper 8-foot stop. Combined effect, 8-foot and 4-foot. Or even the 2 8-foots together sound a little bit jangly to me, but see what you think. Or combine 2 8-foots and 4-foot. So that's the full harpsichord. Just give you a little taste of the lute stop on the French. This gives you the Flemish sound. Upper 8-foot now. Combined 8-foot and 4-foot on the Flemish. It's a lot more jangly sounding, very interesting sounds. The lute stop on the Flemish. I want to mention that the tuning can be altered at the push of a button. So at the moment I was on equal temperament, but for instance it's got Werkmeister, Kernberger, Valotti and mean tones. So if you listen something in F minor, it sounds very mournful indeed with narrow thirds. Contrast that with equal tone. Now, besides the harpsichords, there's a whole range of fortepianos. The fortepiano sound is sort of confusing because there's 4 options with different kinds of string combinations. That one's a slightly more lively sound. The third one slightly muffled, and then the fourth one it's a little bit difficult to categorize them, but anyway, they're very useful. I should mention also there's a dynamic harpsichord as well. You can crescendo and diminuendo, so obviously that's not very authentic. Then there's 2 positive organ sounds which are really useful for continuo work. Here's the first sound. And you can feel the resistance in the keys and almost the air blowing through the pipes. And they can be combined for a larger organ effect. Then there's tone and reverberation controls if you want a more live sound with an echo. The volume control, which you can't do on a real harpsichord. The only other thing I'd mention is the shape of the instrument. It's more or less a box shape, like a traditional English or Flemish virginal of the Renaissance era. There's an attractive decor in the lid with this sort of marquetry motif, and if you're lucky you can get alternative lid designs with a sort of Renaissance painting or one with Latin writing, which I'd love to get my hands on if any of you viewers know where to get it. And there's also a sort of attractive stained glass window effect on the stand as well. And it came with a small matching stool, which is non-adjustable. So overall, I'd say that if you're lucky, you could pick one of these up for about 4,000 US second-hand, but you'd have to be in the right place in the right time. And in terms of concert performance or rehearsal, I think that it can do everything the real harpsichord or continuo organ can do, except you can't have a double manual effect as you can on a big harpsichord. Overall, I would say that you could use it for concert performance or rehearsal with no problem, and it would easily, readily substitute for a real harpsichord without all the fuss of tuning and strings popping and replacing jacks and stuff like that. So I hope you found this review useful. If you did, please pop a like and subscribe on the video, and tune into my other series as I'm doing. This year I'm doing the complete inventions and symphonias of Bach. In the past I've done the well-tempered clavier and the Goldberg variations and more than 50 Scarlatti sonatas. So see you next time. Bye.